Get ready for some jock jams from 70s bands. This is Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die. You can call me Grant, you can call him Chip, and we are talking about the further adventures of Joseph Joestar in Battle Tendency.
Oh no, my heart and throat! Oh no!
That is where we left off, with this ticking clock, 33 days until he dies from 2 separate poisons.
He's got to kill 2 dudes to not die.
And that brings us to episode 16, Lisa Hamon Coach, which begins directly with, re-explaining that with a sort of X-ray image of a real fucked up looking skeleton.
Oh my god.
If those are supposed to be JoJo's real bones, he has broken every single one of them many times.
Yeah, so sometimes it's just like they fuck up drawing a skeleton. Sometimes it's on purpose. But whenever you see somebody's skeleton in JoJo, it is going to be fucked up. There's something wrong with everybody's bones in this world. But yeah, we cut to nighttime in Venice.
We've made it to Venice. We're traveling all over Italy.
Joseph is hanging out in a room with Caesar, and he's just immediately freaking out like, oh, fuck, I didn't think this plan out. I should have told him I'd beat him up in a year, not a month.
How was I supposed to know he had a month-long magic ring?
Yeah. Can they program those rings, I wonder? Or has it just always been a tradition of like 33 days?
It's a mystic number among the Pillar Men.
Right. I like in this part where like Caesar is trying to like not calm JoJo down, but tell him like, hey, better stop worrying and start doing something. And Joseph basically thinks to himself, like, wow, I really have to not think about this because otherwise I'm just going to be freaking out nonstop.
So Caesar levels with him, tries to get through with one of his pickup artist techniques.
Yes.
I want you to pay close attention to my magic trick.
Mm-hmm. He tells JoJo that basically, like, he's talented at Hamon, he's got powerful Hamon, but he's just not using it skillfully enough. So he picks up a glass of water and tips it upside down and goes like, look, I can keep the water from falling out of this glass with my Hamon. I'm going to throw this upside down at you, and you have to catch it and keep the water in. Throws it to Joseph, he catches it, and it stays there briefly before, like, exploding out of the glass. Because Joseph is brute forcing his Hamon because it's just in all of his hands and his palms, and Caesar is explaining that his Hamon is far more controlled because he is sending them out to just the tips of his fingers.
The explanation sounds like a physics textbook talking about force and pressure.
Yeah.
If you exert the same force over a smaller surface area, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then he makes an analogy to squirt guns, and JoJo makes a very shocked face at the mention of squirt guns?
Yeah.
Huh?
What? Like, because I have the episode open just to, like, check on things, and, like, yeah, JoJo is truly shocked at that squirt gun comparison for some reason. Oh, squirt gun. But yeah, Caesar's telling him, like, hey, you got, like, potential, but you need a lot of training. I brought you to Venice to meet my mentor. It's going to be, you're going to be working real hard. You can, just grinding away at this. And Joseph says, oh no, work and grind are my least 2 favorite words in the English language.
He's going to hate 90s dance music. I'm sorry, JoJo. So as they are seeking out this mysterious coach, I was hoping that Caesar would be the coach. You know, like he would be this lifelong student, but no, he is moving up the totem pole and introducing JoJo to the wider world of Hamon users in early 20th century Europe. And so we move on to just, I guess, pounding pavement and trying to find this teacher. Like,
yeah.
Caesar doesn't know her address.
So they're trying to get to an island which they have to rename slightly in the dub, but it's Air Supply Island.
Yeah, it sure is. Which is the best name. It's not just a band, it's specifically a Hamon joke, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. They go up to this, I can't remember the name for this right now.
A gondola?
A gondola, yes.
Yes.
A gondola. They ask this person chilling out in this gondola.
In like a red power suit and like a Harlequin mask.
Yeah. Asking like, hey, do you can you take us to Air Supply Island? We're trying to look for somebody. This person, turns around, they have this goofy Harlequin mask on. They immediately strike a sinister pose.
So yeah, these boys know what's up.
Yeah.
I don't know why you want to fight me, but it's clear you want to fight me. So let's fight.
Yeah. This gondolier takes one of their oars and throws it onto the water, and they're standing on top of it on the surface of the water with Hamon.
Ripples upon ripples, extending in every direction.
And then they deck Joseph across the face really hard with an oar they kick at him.
Joseph is challenged in a walking on water competition.
Yes.
He's even worse at walking on water than Jonathan was.
Yeah, he's waist deep. He's just trudging through. But yeah, JoJo's getting pissed, and then the gondolier takes their mask off, and surprise, it's the Hamon coach. Who could have guessed?
We are introduced to the Hamon coach Lisa by the narrator because we left all our speedwagons at home.
Yeah,
there's no one else to do this job. Yeah.
It's a shame. And we've had 3 speedwagons too. Stroheim is half a speedwagon. And then we got Smokey. Come on. Yeah, it's Lisa, the Hamon coach, wearing this really great red pantsuit with one of those Hamon style scarves that Straitso had. Mm-hmm. She immediately she kicks the oar up into the air and uses the Hamon to drag the water up into the air so that the oar is suspended midair like a high bar.
Have we considered sending her to fight the Pillar Men? I think she would do okay.
Yeah, I think she'd probably do great. She does some flips off the high bar and goes flying at Joseph like a missile, and locks a weird gift mask onto him.
Yes. Covering his mouth and nose to control his breathing. And JoJo hates this. He does not like it. And I'm sorry, but anytime I see a character complain about having to wear a mask anymore, they are automatically a whiny baby. And I have no sympathy for them.
Yep. Yeah. It's a mask that you can't breathe in unless you're doing the proper rhythm of Hamon breathing. Mm-hmm. And so while JoJo's complaining about this, he just starts fucking sinking into the water and almost drowning. Lisa is telling JoJo that hey, I didn't accept the responsibility of training you just so that you can get better. I'm doing this because I want to kill the shit out of the Pillar Men.
Yes, she is. So we're gonna go assemble the Hamon Avengers. She's talking that all the Hamon people got to be at their Hamon best for this Hamon struggle. She likes Hamon, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, and Joseph thinks to himself while she's walking back to the gondola, man, I can't help but respect her, but why would anyone marry this lady? I don't know why it was a detail. I've just constantly forgotten that the island is called Air Supply Island, but I just keep thinking about it.
It's very good. It's a very good joke. So as they are on their way to Air Supply Island, we have to see what everybody else is doing. Right. Granny Arena and Speedwagon and Smokey are sitting down to dinner together.
They're just having a nice little chat, having some tea.
This reminds me of how every once in a while, in Dragon Ball Z, there'd be a cut to what's happening at Kame House, and there's 40 characters that used to matter sometime in the last 20 years.
They're still around.
All just watching Goku on TV together.
Look, there's Yamcha in the background. What's he doing? Oh,
Remember Oolong?
Oh, yeah. Remember those 2 characters that we fused into one brand new character, but they also stopped being important eventually? There they are. But yeah, Speedwagon is basically just telling Arena, yeah, JoJo's good. and thinking wow, I really can't tell Granny Arena about the poison rings that are going to kill him in a month.
JoJo made me promise I wouldn't on pain of death.
Yeah.
I've seen him eviscerate men for even looking at Granny Arena the wrong way. I cannot possibly upset her.
And Speedwagon's already on thin ice here because he already had his skull kicked clean open once. And I think that was only maybe a week ago at most.
You don't survive that sort of thing a second time.
Yeah, especially when your skull is probably loosened up a bit more than the first time you got kicked in the head. Yeah, we cut back to the Hamon training, and it's time for the Hell Climb Pillar.
The Hell Climb Pillar.
The Hell Climb Pillar. And Caesar is really scared about this challenge. JoJo's just confused, like, what are you even talking about? What's the Hell Climb Pillar?
So many people have died on the Hell Climb Pillar.
Caesar's heard countless stories about it. He is, like, visibly sweating and trembling about the idea.
It seems that the Hamon tribe didn't really need the Pillarmen's help getting exterminated. They were doing just fine on their own.
Yeah. Lisa's throwing open these huge steel doors, but JoJo's going all like, what's the big deal about this tower? This building isn't really that tall. Doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to climb. Lisa says, well, it's more deep than tall, really, because the entrance is the top of the pillar, and then she immediately kicks both of them down to the bottom.
Yeah, so the way Hell Climb Pillar works is at the bottom, there is a sea of slippery oil that is being circulated back up to the top and continually sliding. And it's a big greased pole, basically, that's like 30 feet in diameter. And you have to climb up using only your Hamon, and you get no food or water or rest. And as long as it takes, if you starve down there, that is not Lisa's fucking problem.
Yeah.
What if Mr. Miyagi just shot Daniel and said, here's how you do karate now?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how tall. I forgot to write down how tall the pillar is. They say I want to say it's something like almost 30 meters or something like that.
It's a big boy. It's a big pillar.
Yeah, it
takes them forever.
It takes them a very long time.
We keep jumping from like breakthrough to breakthrough, moment to moment, but the narrator's like announcing the passage of time in days.
Yes. Like Caesar's able to very quickly start climbing the pillar, although he's having great difficulty doing it.
He's a good boy. He's focused. He has the training.
He's very slowly going up, but he's at least making progress. Joseph basically doesn't even try to climb with Hamon. He just tries to find ways to cheat instead.
Ever throw a temper tantrum so hard you shred your shirt?
That's what he does. Yeah, he like shreds his shirt in anger and then uses those shreds to make an incredibly long, twisted up rope. He wraps around the entire massive pillar, and he's going to try and climb it like he's a lumberjack.
Yeah, like the lumberjack games do.
Yeah, and while he's doing this, by the way, we get yet another play of the Owner of a Lonely Heart guitar riff.
As Lisa throws a throwing knife down to slice his shirt rope, and is like, hey, only Hamon.
God, I love that she was just sitting there the whole time with throwing knives at the ready.
I love the design of Lisa. She is... Okay, Araki's clearly going for like a MILF thing with Lisa.
Yes.
Come on, there's no denying it.
I would describe Lisa as a babe. She is a babe.
She is a babe, yeah. But you look at everybody else's outfits, and there's so many, like Caesar in particular, he's got so many pieces and straps and textures, and JoJo is a little less so, but in that ballpark. While Lisa just wears a big hat and a long pattern dress, and that's it. She dresses like a real person.
Yeah. For a like shoujo anime, for the most part, JoJo is probably one of the least horny I've ever seen. Most of the time, JoJo is far more concerned with trying to think up the most bizarre combat situations they can possibly imagine, rather than going like, damn, this girl's got the big bap going on. Lisa is one of those exceptions.
Lisa's vibe is like you're cool aunt with a weed card, basically. No kids. She's got a real good job, and she's chill.
Yeah.
The biggest problem I see with legalization is it's removing the cultural signifier of the weed card. That's becoming meaningless.
Yeah. A lot of people's identities will suddenly be missing something if they don't got that, right? She threw those throwing knives to cut his shirt rope, and JoJo starts complaining more, and she just walks away and like looks over her shoulder and gives him like a really cold look, and that like freaks JoJo out. He's at this point he's constantly thinking to himself of ways he's going to get revenge on Lisa, and it's always just stuff like, I'm not going to beat her up, but I'm going to like tickle her or pinch her nose or something. He just wants to bully her. Yes, he does very badly. So he keeps getting false starts, and Caesar keeps getting very slow progress. And so I'm trying to like figure out what the solution is going to be. Obviously, it's going to be teamwork. You have like someone at the bottom do like a Hamon infused punch to like shake the oil off, and their partner runs up and climbs in that gap, sticks on, and then does the same. And so they leapfrog all the way up the pillar. I'm a genius. I'm brilliant. That is not the solution at all. Yeah. Also, I want to say during this part has a lot of like the really stylish like overlays and alternate color palettes and stuff for a lot of like
with patterns built into them, like people become diamond.
Yeah. There's a couple of shots where on top of like the comic book halftone pattern overlaid over everything, there's also a repeating pattern of just the word JoJo, which I really like. Like eventually Joseph is just watching what Caesar is doing and actually trying to learn something from it. And then he remembers what Caesar told him earlier in the episode about, concentrating Hamon into smaller points like your fingertips. And he finally realizes like, oh, I'm going to do that. And he's able to start slowly climbing the pillar.
At this point, he's been standing in waist-high grease all up in his business for 5 days without food or water.
Yeah.
Just to consider, oh yeah, that advice I got in plain English. Oh yeah, all right.
At this point, they're still only maybe halfway up the pillar, and Joseph already is down to 27 days before he dies.
This incredible like physical exertion over an obstacle, as well as like Lisa must be bored out of her mind. She's done every Sudoku in the entire nation of Italy. Like this is like if Ninja Warrior was on C-SPAN, basically.
Yeah. Speaking of the visuals one more time, I wanted to bring up too that I like for a lot of these scenes, everything is colored like it is an oil slick. That like rainbowy oil slick color. Yeah.
Very, very dingy and gross, but with the rainbow pattern sort of woven in.
Yeah.
So JoJo eventually gets to a point where he thinks he finds a handhold. Finally, there is some respite before the final approach, where it starts getting like steeper and bowing out. So you're like hanging from your fingertips. So he sticks his hand in, and what does he find but a booby trap switch? Lisa could not have been more clear that you just do the Hamon. She's not lying to you.
No. So yeah, Joseph makes the situation way worse. He activates the booby trap. Like just a foot or two above them is a seam in the pillar that has been activated, and now it is firing out highly pressurized oil, just blasting it straight out. So there's just this huge barrier in front of them.
Like water cutting.
Yeah.
Cut your hand off high pressure oil.
Yeah, like Caesar pulls out a pen he had in his pocket and just holds it up, and it just severs the cap clean off of it. After his pen gets severed by the oil, he like just looks down at Joseph with some kind of face, and JoJo's immediately thinking like, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I'm so sorry. I fucked up.
I fucked up real bad. Oh God. The only person who could be my friend in the world. Oh no.
But Caesar's thinking to himself like, bro, I'm not mad at you. I just don't think you can do this. I might be able to get through this, but I think you're going to die, dude.
I think I just watched you kill yourself, dude.
Yeah.
It sucks to be you. So Caesar's plan is to charge his body in different locations of his body with the two opposing flavors of Hamon, attract Hamon to stick to the wall, and repel Hamon to beat the oil away from his body so he doesn't get chopped in half.
Yeah. Very slowly pushing himself through the oil, and he gets through, and at this point, he's not even done. He still has more to go.
And it's been like 9 hours since JoJo pushed the button until he makes his big move.
Yeah.
Is the grease edible? Is it food grade grease? Can I be surviving on this? Like,
has Lisa been throwing down meat or something?
A desperate person just like drinking canola oil?
Ugh. And so now Caesar finally reaches the top of the pillar. It took him 61 hours. Mm-hmm. Lisa's still like up there just waiting for them, and Caesar is super tired, on his knees, just begging her, like, you got to turn the oil off. There's no way Joseph can do this. He's going to die down there.
And hey, rules are rules, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
JoJo is begging, like, oh, this is to learn humility, right? This is some sort of other kind of lesson or discipline. Are you supposed to be teaching me discipline? Because I swear I'm disciplined now, I promise. Like, no, it's teaching you to use Hamon through your fucking fingertips, dude.
And I really like this bit where Caesar is telling Lisa, like, you got to turn this off. I know how JoJo acts now. He's going to try to do some really crazy galaxy brain do or die idea, and it's going to get him killed. And then it cuts to Joseph, and he thinks to himself, I'm going to do a do or die idea.
So he doesn't have the mastery of Hamon technique to both attract and repel at the same time. So he's just going to be very sticky to the oil and ride the high pressure oil all the way out to the outer wall that rings the pit that the pillar's inside.
Yeah.
And then stick to that wall and climb out through the less pressurized oil as it's, had to travel and lose its energy and momentum across the way. And it fucking works.
And it works. And he actually he launches himself really far. But at this point, he's clinging to this wall, and he's super tired, and he's basically he can't exert himself anymore. He can't control his Hamon, and he's about to fall all the way back to the bottom.
And it finally comes, the moment I've been waiting for since Caesar was introduced, the best bros moment.
Yes.
Where he just reaches down and saves JoJo's life from falling to the depths of Hell Climb Pillar. Yeah, JoJo finally beat the Hell Climb Challenge by cheating.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
But Lisa is so impressed by him coming up with an alternate solution to getting out that she's basically cool with it. She's going to teach him anyway.
Yeah, she'll fudge it. It's fine. Yeah. Whatever.
Good enough.
So they are introduced to their specific one-on-one instructors. Lisa has teaching assistants.
Yes. We got Kenny Loggins and Messina.
Yes. Name for Joe Messina.
Yeah.
Loggins and Messina recorded a few songs together. Do you want to know their most famous piece?
Yeah.
Danny's Song.
Danny's Song.
Danny's Song is the title. It all comes full circle, baby.
Oh my God. That's why Danny's named Danny.
Danny's back.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's great.
Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with ya, honey. That song. That's called Danny's Song for some reason.
Yeah.
But they are here to pump you up.
They're huge.
They're huge. If there ever was a Hamon tribe, it looks like they were a part of it. Something about their hats and their open vests and their spindly facial hair arrangements seems very Hamon tribal to me.
Yeah. Right before they were introduced, Lisa threw another upside down glass of water at JoJo, and when he caught it, he was able to keep the water inside. But Kenny or Loggins and Messina, they like dip their finger into that water and pull out just the water from the glass, just suspended in this glass shape with Hamon, and they're like, "Whoa, how'd you do that?" Because it's like pudding or like Jello now. Inconsistency.
I love the idea that Dairy Queen Blizzards work because of Hamon.
Oh yeah,
That's what they're doing when they tip it over for you.
But yeah, JoJo and Caesar are like shocked and like, how are you doing that? And they're like, well, get closer. And when they get close, they just make the water just explode in their faces just to fuck with them.
These are the teasing teachers.
Yeah. These
Yeah.
dudes will prank you into getting into discipline.
We don't get much from them because instead of a credit sequence, we just get the montage part of the training montage.
Yes.
Hardcore. Get these two instructors just shouting, breathing instructions over short moments of Caesar and JoJo doing incredible acrobatic feats while being told to like take 10 breaths in a second. And like inhale for 20 minutes and exhale for 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're doing that like while underwater or something. I love just like, inhale for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
How big are their lungs?
But by the end of this, they will be incredible opera singers. Their breath control is going to bring down the house.
Just imagine
as long as they're in tune, at least.
Yeah, just imagine how far they could project. Like, wow.
So we see all of this, like the whole month goes in fast forward, and we find out at the end of this episode that took all the way through the credits to fit it all in. It took 26 days.
Yes, there are 7 days left until JoJo dies.
So that brings us to episode 17, The Deeper Plan. So we start with our villains, our villainous crew. Is this a flashback, or is this what the Pillar Men are up to right now? I wasn't entirely clear.
I think this is what the Pillar Men are up to right now.
Okay, so they're discussing the masks.
Yeah.
And how the masks are really good at impaling the brains of mortal men with their spikes, but they're not strong enough to pierce Pillar Man brains, which is a problem.
Yeah, they made these masks to become like even more powerful, like the next step in evolution, basically. They want to become like super immortal. The dang spikes just can't pierce their skulls, their powerful skulls.
It is a very strange plan that makes you want to pierce your own brain with a spike. They're talking about how, well, what we really need is a stone of Asia, because it refracts light real good, and it makes light more gooder. So the spikes will punch better through our ridiculous skin and bones and our super brains to become super duper brains. And wait until these guys find out what lasers are, because they woke up at the perfect time.
Yeah.
I mean, slightly early, sure, but they can wait. They can be patient. It's been long enough.
Yeah, Cars is holding up a stone of Asia, but it's not like powerful enough. It's too small. They need a super Asia, like the purest of stones that can apparently refract light billions of times. Quote, at least.
Yeah. I mean, most prisms that you hear about really only refract like the one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they want to become immortal gods in the next evolution. I just love the plan. Just the hitch in their plan is just our skulls are too thick. our skulls are too tough.
In so many ways, Cars, so many ways.
Yeah.
Lisa knows all about this because she's not only the great Hamon coach, she's the guardian of the Super Asia.
Yes, she has it embedded in a necklace, which also introduces us to a new character. She's got like a maid who works for her named Susie Q.
Named for either the song or the band, Susie Q. Maybe obliquely named for Susie Sue. Who can say?
But yeah, Susie Q comes over with like a little like pillow that's got the necklace on it, and Lisa holds it up and like, here's the thing they're looking for. I'm the one in charge of guarding this. She goes like, behold the power of the Super Asia, and she just holds it up to the sunlight, and it just shoots a powerful fucking laser right into the ground. It just like burrows a hole all the way down to the earth.
So JoJo has the sort of responsible reaction, which is, well, if that's what they need so bad, just fucking break it and shit. Like, smash that fool.
Just break it.
But no, legend says that destroying the Super Asia would be narratively unsatisfying.
Yes. There are legends that the Pillar Men can only be truly defeated with the Super Asia.
But now it is time for final exams. Zeppeli and JoJo must each have a one-on-one duel with one of their instructors. And so Caesar Zeppeli, still the powerful family bonds of the Zeppeli clan, he just goes to hang out on a high wire with his teacher.
Yeah, just like his grandpa.
JoJo is wearing a knit hat that looks like he's going to go work out on the docks for some reason.
Yeah, it makes him look like a longshoreman or something, yeah.
As he heads out to where his instructor is waiting for him. I guess he passes, but it might count as plagiarism because his instructor has already been kicked to death by Esidisi.
Yeah, Esidisi's here. I believe it's Loggins that is dead.
Oh, because they're so distinct. It matters so much.
Yeah. One's got a mustache, the other doesn't. But yeah, it's like when JoJo comes in, he catches like AC/DC striking a pose with his foot buried in Loggins' stomach. Mm-hmm. And when he throws Loggins to the ground, JoJo examines his dead body and he says, his lungs have been pulled out. That was a powerful kick.
He says that his lungs have been pulled out, which is very bad for a Hamon user.
I think that's bad for anybody.
As if Susie Q would be just fine if her lungs were pulled out. Yeah. It wouldn't bother her that much.
Yeah.
Lungs are vital for Hamon users is the exact quote.
So yeah, JoJo briefly mourns Loggins, just like, man, you were a dick to me, but thanks for teaching me a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. AC/DC is here to take the stone, but he wants to kill all the Hamon users before he grabs it.
Yes.
So the battlefield that JoJo and Loggins were going to fight on is a gigantic pit of spikes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
AC/DC's walking onto that. He's not using Hamon. He's just cool with walking on the spikes and having them impale his feet over and over and over.
Yeah, until just the friction from the stab wound holds him in place.
Yeah. JoJo's also hopping along in the spike pit, using his Hamon to stay just, on the tip of the spikes here. He's ready to kick AC/DC's ass. He wants that antidote from his nose ring.
AC/DC tells him to move out of the way, and JoJo replies that he only moves for important things, like dog poo. Welcome to Bizarre Podcast, Dogs Must Shit.
So JoJo just goes to, fucking poke AC/DC, because AC/DC just puts his hand up in front of him. Mm-hmm. And JoJo just pokes his index finger full of Hamon clean through his hand. And AC/DC is just like, wow, cool. Okay.
Didn't know you had it in you, brah. Cool. All right.
And he's basically unfazed by this. And just clenches his hand over JoJo's with his fingers still halfway through this guy's hand. Mm-hmm. And he's looking to just basically just bend his hand in a way that just snaps JoJo's finger clean off. But Joseph's able to do a cool flip.
Yes.
He does a cool flip using his hand, his finger in AC/DC's hand as the flip point, and reveals, aha, I have already begun enacting my plans. Because mid-flip, it is revealed that there is a very fine wire soaked in vegetable oil to conduct Hamon energy.
And if oil conducts Hamon so well, why is the Hellclimb pillar such a problem? Maybe because you're sticking to the oil that is continually running down?
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's why it's hard, because if you stick to the oil, you'll slide down. You have to focus your Hamon in such a way that it sticks to the pillar behind the oil, which does sound very difficult.
Yeah.
I figured it out. Okay, it's fine. It's good.
But yeah, there's suddenly this wire that is surrounding AC/DC's arm. It gets wrapped around his forearm. Joseph's able to pull it taut, but what is the other end of this wire attached to? It's wrapped around Loggins' middle finger. He wrapped that around him while examining his dead body. And Joseph just yanks real hard, and he just tears AC/DC's left forearm clean off.
Mm-hmm. He quotes Sun Tzu as he brags about his superior planning, and how that's what really decides the outcome of a battle. I don't think he was talking about greasy string though.
Yeah,
but I guess I'll let it slide.
Yeah, I like when JoJo is talking about all this Art of War stuff. JoJo says first that he skipped school a lot, but Granny Arena made sure that he knows his history really well. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So JoJo gives us a couple small history lessons this episode.
He would not be here if Jonathan didn't study his history to know all about the tragic lives of Bluford the Black Knight and Tarukas.
Yeah. And while JoJo's like bragging that, he is more powerful than ACDC because he's got a strategic mind, he steps over to where ACDC's arm had landed. It's impaled on a spike, and he just kicks it real hard with a Hamon kick, and it just spins on the spike really fast and melts into bones.
Pillar men love to regenerate. You got to take care of the parts, or else it's like you didn't cut off his arm at all. Yeah. Smart thinking. Good boy. This throws ACDC into a tantrum, which, JoJo, you got to protect your IP. This is your thing. You're the tantrum man. You can't let him steal your shtick like that. But ACDC has powerful emotions, and he has to let them out.
Yeah, he is bawling his eyes out. He is scrunching his face up. He's flailing around. He's got tears just flying everywhere. I'm surprised they didn't animate them like hitting the camera lens or something. And JoJo's just freaked out. He just keeps thinking like, man, this is kind of cringy. This big dude just crying a bunch over his. And while ACDC is crying, he like picks up his arm bones and like rubs them against his face and cuddles them.
But then he snaps back to it. Apparently, he has such powerful emotions that he purges all of them at once.
Yes.
And then he can be a calm and collected stoic pillar man again.
Yes. Oh, right. Even before he does this, he claims he's got a read on Joseph. He's like, oh, I know your type. You're always thinking up stupid schemes and plans ahead of time. I bet you got, 2 more plans right now that you're trying to pull on me. He quotes The Art of War. And then he goes, you know what? I knew Sun Tzu. I knew him personally. God, I was there when he was writing that shit, bro.
I was the copy editor, man.
Yeah.
I think your translation is slightly suspect.
God, because when I was because I didn't get to watch these episodes because I was until last night because I was really busy with work. But I was watching this part and then forgetting what he says here, I just made the joke like, and I knew him personally. And then he immediately said, I knew him personally. It's just like, God damn it. ACDC walks over to Loggins' body and kicks his forearm off and just glues it onto his own body. And
then Loggins' face is caved the fuck in and glowing, and it's fucking gross and bad.
His body is starting to like melt a little bit. Oh, and also like during this, Joseph is freaking out because he can't get a read on ACDC, and he's like, man, but that's my gimmick. ACDC even does the thing Joseph does to other people where he says, you're about to say blank next, and then they say that, and then they're shocked.
You gotta contact a copyright lawyer, Joseph. You've got to protect your intellectual property.
Yeah.
This is how we beat the Pillar Men. We sue them into oblivion.
Yeah. Yeah, Loggins' body is like melting and bubbling and steaming, and it blows up just a little bit, and it throws blood everywhere, and Joseph goes, that's hot, because ACDC can control his internal body temperature and heat up his own blood up to 500 degrees.
He says he has blood the temperature of molten lava.
Yes.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
I take some of these Pillar Men's boasts the way you would take like Pokedex entries.
Yeah.
The ones that are like, oh yes, this is definitely written by a 10-year-old. You had no way of measuring that.
Yeah.
So as ACDC demonstrates his powers, both physical, mental, and emotional, he lashes out at Joseph, and in some strikes that we don't see, but what we do see is the shockwave of it slits a puncture into Lisa's wine glass, and a bit of wine just like slips out of it onto the table, and she makes a concerned face.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible bit of restraint. Like, that shows so much by showing so little.
Yeah.
Especially considering what we just saw of that face.
Yeah. Yeah, when JoJo was struck right before that wine glass scene, ACDC was like revealing his main like power. He's got hot blood, but he's got to shoot that hot blood out somehow. And it's really gross. His fingernails flip up as if they are on hinges, And then in the gross holes in his fingers that are underneath his fingernail lids, his veins just crawl out like tentacles and they just squirt blood. It's so fucking gross.
And I know what you're thinking, but don't worry, his toenails can do it too.
Oh, yeah, they sure can. Ugh. Just when they flip up and you just see there's just, his fingers are like hollow inside. It's just nasty.
So JoJo is on the back foot. He was not anticipating any of this kind of business. Yeah. So he has to come up with a plan on the fly. So he starts unwinding the wool in his hat, figuring that if he just dances and dodges, he'll be able to do so in such a pattern to disguise that he is encircling Esidisi with a woolen string that he can use to, in a repeat of the oily silk from a moment ago, just chop him into many, many pieces, not just an arm off.
Yeah.
This is the plan.
That's the plan. And while this is happening, we also see Caesar and Messina fighting. Caesar just like in mid-charge, Messina's just like, yo, you can stop. Like, you're going to kill me. You pass. I'm going to die if we go any further with this.
You did it, bro.
Yeah, congrats. And Caesar's thinking, I wonder how JoJo's doing. And he picks up some binoculars and, what's going on over there?
The answer is not well. He's not doing well.
Yeah, but they're really far away, so it's going to take him a while to get to JoJo to help if they did that.
So meanwhile, JoJo is ready to spring this trap. He's feeling confident, and then AC/DC just laughs in the face of his confidence. Because look again, he has been dancing his own pattern, and his toenail veins
God
have burned the woolen string laid for him by this hat dance.
I love that this entire fight is just based around string. Also, while he's like doing this, like AC/DC is so cocky and confident. There's a part where he just like squats down and just impales more of his body on the spikes just for the hell of it. Just to like freak him out or something. I don't know.
Well, it's so he has more slots to bleed through.
Ah, sure.
It gets more of his boiling blood out.
More of his hot blood, yeah.
Check it and see. JoJo in a reversal, he is still shockingly confident. AC/DC has not shaken him because, as a handy pop-up diagram reveals,
yes,
he was dancing a double pattern. He launches his attack, still ties up AC/DC in this Hamon charged string because AC/DC only cut certain segments that were wound and knotted very loosely around other segments.
Yes.
Because he studied the classic rope tricks of close-up magicians.
Yes.
And is applying those lessons here in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he gives a whole like little history factoid about like the history of illusions. It's just like, man, while you were asleep for 2,000 years, people figured out magic tricks. Tricked you, gotcha.
Magic tricks, more recent than the art of war.
Yeah, know all about Legerdemain or whatever it's called.
The diagram, I find it so lovely. In case you ever wanted to trick your own ancient evil at home.
Yeah. Yeah, JoJo even like dates when sleight of hand became a thing, and it's like he's like, oh, the 18th and 19th century. That's when it became popular.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, because the string is actually still intact, he's able to throw the string up in the air and wrap AC/DC in it. He is bound by it. He's trapped. Joseph just courses Hamon through it, and AC/DC blows the fuck up.
He is vaporized.
Yeah.
And so Joseph begins his true quest for the perfect piercings and grabs that antidote, that gooey, gross nose antidote.
Oh, right. Right before AC/DC dies, he tries one last attack where the skin on his head rips off and he's got like a metallic skull with a gigantic horn on it that he's trying to stab JoJo with, but it doesn't work. He just fucking explodes.
Wamoo's horn, way more effective.
Yeah.
Even though more horns means higher ranking, this is the first time we really see AC/DC's horns.
Yeah, it's just right at the end. I don't know why his skull is made of metal, but it is.
But JoJo pops open that nose ring. I don't know what he expected, but what he got was goo in there. He's got to drink the nose goo. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like it. But as he turns and walks away to share the news with his friends and mentors, we get, I think, the first great to be continued of part 2.
Yeah.
Because there's a tentacled brain on his back.
And JoJo just thinks to himself, why are my shoulders so stiff?
Probably all the stress, I guess.
I fucking love the reveal of there being this weird fucking tentacle brain just clinging to his back.
That brings us to episode 18, Von Stroheim's Revenge, where we get our Chris Chibnall New Year's Day episode tradition. Weird tentacle blob monster piloting somebody by hitching a ride on their back. Susie Q is trying to help Lisa get dressed. I've decided that her voice sounds like Princess Peach doing a Mario impression.
Susie Q isn't like a smart person. She's nice, but she's kind of dumb as bricks, I think. She just cannot... Like, she's like, hey, Lisa, which dress do you want to wear? The white one or the colorful one? And she's like, I don't know.
She asks this question 300 times.
Yeah, it's just like, well, the white one's really classy, but the colorful one's so colorful. I don't know. The white one is so classy, but the colorful one is so colorful. Yeah, she's just like going on and on about this, just back and forth in the background for this entire scene.
And with no new information. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But Lisa cannot decide between the frocks presented to her because she's very worried about what happened. And, neither of the boys have come home after their graduation exams. If you're so worried, you can go out and check. You know where they were. You can go.
But instead... Lisa tells Susie Q, like, hey, when JoJo and Caesar get here, tell them to come, come visit me and talk to me. And then she gets nude.
While Susie Q's asking her what she wants to wear when she gets out of the bath, we get it. They're both good blouses. It's a hard choice. They're both good. I know.
Good. Yeah, she is taking, Lisa's taken a bath on, like, this open-air veranda where the pillar bed could just hop in and murder her.
Yeah, we're getting a rated T for teen up here.
Yeah.
But, I mean... A bathtub is like the safest place for a Hamon master to be. We've seen what she can do with water.
Yeah.
She's good.
You know what? I
bet... More water, more better. She should be in a pool. She'd be unstoppable.
Yeah. You know what? Because she used the water 2 episodes ago to like lift that ore as a high bar. I bet you could, if you had your hands in the water, use the water to swing the tub around like a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Imagine like just... Yeah, Susie Q is going back down the stairs to do other work in the castle here.
And she runs into a suspicious character in a dark corner and is shocked to see the face of Joseph Joestar because she's never seen the whole face before.
Yeah, he's always been wearing that mask, and ACDC melted it off with his gross blood previous episode.
She's never seen his weird mouth, as she describes it.
Weird lips, yeah.
It's the one time that it's less suspicious to run into an unmasked person than a masked person, I guess.
Yeah.
So they have a bit of a teasing relationship. At least he doesn't call her a floozy, I guess.
Yeah. While they're talking, she sees a very quick, like, flick of a brain tentacle from behind JoJo's shoulder, just peeks out for like half a second and pulls back in, and she's like, what was that? And he's just like, huh? I don't know.
No, nothing.
And now the brain, as we see from the shot behind JoJo, the brain is no longer attached to him. It's gone somewhere else.
JoJo announces that he has a lot of news, but he's informed that a bath time is happening. Bath time is apparently sacrosanct. There's no news more important than bath time. Not even the death of ACDC or the death of Lawkins.
Gotta take that bath.
I feel like they would both be things she would want to hear, though.
Yeah. So now Susie Q leaves, and JoJo thinks like, oh, weird, my shoulders aren't stiff anymore. And also he's got a bunch of gross goo on his back. He hasn't noticed yet.
JoJo has learned too much discipline from Hellclimb Pillar, I guess, because he'll just sit by the door like a good boy and not even knock.
Yeah.
But he will peep through the peephole to see the first butt of his life.
Oh my God, yeah. He checks out Lisa like on the sitting on the edge, sees her ass, and then he looks at the camera and like does a little arm pump and says, "Nice."
I'm very confused why she was sitting on the ledge, because she was in the bath, then she's out of the bath, then she's back in the bath.
I don't know, man. I do not know.
What is the Venetian bath technique that I don't understand? Maybe it's a Hamon thing.
Maybe. Just before Joseph peeped into the keyhole of the door, he was looking outside and saw Susie Q like giving a package to like a boat mailman. And he drives off with that package. And then when he's peeking through the peephole, Susie Q is already somehow in that room, even though it's like 3 floors above, and she had no time to get in there.
This is very suspicious.
Very suspicious. Lisa's also like getting concerned because Susie Q is acting weird. And surprise, Lisa's dripping green goo everywhere, and her eyes are all fucked up. She's possessed by AC/DC's brain.
More like Susie Goo. Oh.
Ugh. It's a very gooey episode, this one.
So yeah, AC/DC puppeting the body of Susie Q with his brain tentacles announces himself.
Yeah.
And JoJo shouts AC/DC, which is a very goofy name to shout. Shoutable names end in the O vowel. Maybe an ah, but not AC/DC. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So AC/DC piloting Susie Q. I don't know why he tells them this, but he goes, "Aha, I am here just to keep you at bay because I took the super stone of Asia and I gave it to that mailman and it's going to be delivered to the Pillar Men. They have an address."
But I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
As soon as that a boat porter gets to the train station, it could go on any train anywhere. You're not going to know. And if the red stone reaches Venice and gets on a train heading 70 miles an hour towards Naples, and another train departs Switzerland at 7:30 local time.
So at this point, like, JoJo barges in and goes like, "What the fuck's going on here?"
Hey, what's up with that?
AC/DC's controlling this lady. And then Caesar comes in, and all he sees is Lisa's boobs, and goes like, "JoJo, what the fuck are you up to?" Mm-hmm. And
it takes him a second to deduce the thing that he was explicitly told, that AC/DC is in control of Susie Q.
Yeah, AC/DC is trying to act like Susie Q, like a normal Susie Q for a second, trying to get like to lure like Caesar in to like kill him or attack him. That doesn't work, and instead Susie Q just starts puking and getting gross, and there's weird black veins all over her face.
Very gross, very creepy. And so we get to the ethical dilemma, the moral quandary. Are you a bad enough dude to murder a child?
Yeah. You want to kill this lady? Because now, like, AC/DC like moves Susie Q over to like the threshold of this room and shoots a bunch of veins out so that she's like suspended in front of this door. There's no way to get around her. Mm-hmm. JoJo tries to do the thing he did with Straight So, where he's just like, "Yo, I'll totally kill this woman. I don't care about her." And then goes in for a big punch that's really slow. And he's like, "I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
About to punch your brains in." And you know,
and all you are is brains, so that's really bad for you.
Yeah, but you know, he's bluffing. AC/DC doesn't take the bluff, so JoJo just backs off and goes like, "You know, son of a bitch, this never works."
Why don't people believe I want to kill random women?
Yeah, they're trying to think of a plan because, and Lisa's saying like, "Okay, there's no way Susie Q's normal human heart can sustain the amount of Hamon you got to shoot into her to kill AC/DC. I'm giving you permission to kill my maid now." But JoJo comes up with a new plan. Just as they're about to kill her. "Hey, Caesar, I saw you do that, the two opposing types of Hamon. What if we both poked Susie Q with positive and negative at the same time?"
So one of them gives her a positive Hamon poke to like heal her wounds and keep her safe, while another gives a negative Hamon poke in order to repel AC/DC from her body. And the narrator tells us that this balances out into a simultaneously negative and positive 0.
Negative and positive 0. Yep.
Hamon works on floating point arithmetic. JoJo is a programmer.
Whoa. And like it gives us a diagram of like just arrows pointing at a naked lady's body of like, this is where the Hamon goes.
For future reference again.
Yeah.
Just in case you got to poke somebody with your own Hamon.
Yeah. The brain emerges from, I can't tell if it was just hiding in the back of her shirt or if it was actually inside of her neck, but either way, it looks like it crawls out from under her skin, which is pretty gross. And it leaps onto JoJo's shoulder, trying to attack again. But JoJo does nothing because he's like, we'll just let the sun take care of it. And the brain just starts melting on his shoulder.
And then JoJo says some words of respect for ACDC's drive to survive. And like, can we not, please?
Let's not do that.
Please stop respecting people. Stop it.
He says this while like holding ACDC's smoking brain in his hand, which is extra funny to me. Like I was expecting him to like pat the brain for a second. Like they're there.
You did good. It's okay. Go into the light, the ultraviolet light. So now we have to travel by map, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing every time it happens.
Yep. Susie Q is still alive. She's good. She just got a bunch of weird pockmarks in her face from where the veins were coming out of her fucking face. But she's good otherwise. And Lisa like says, okay, you must have been at least semi-conscious while possessed. You must have heard where AC/DC wanted this thing to be mailed. She uses like some Hamon and Lisa's brain to like to speed up her memory or something. This is different than the manga. This is the one time a big scene got cut out. Because in the manga, it wasn't just, hey, Susie Q, tell us where he mailed it. Instead, all of the entire party goes to the post office and harasses mailmen until they tell them where they sent the package. There's multiple pages of them just being dicks and yelling at mailmen at the post office.
I would love to see that scene.
Yeah.
But I think this is better for one, like, don't be dicks to mailmen. That's not nice. It's funny to hear about, but it's not nice. And also giving Susie Q something to do other than almost pick clothes for someone.
Yeah.
Like she gets to be involved in the adventure in more than just, are you going to kill this kid?
I do still wish I could see the post office scene animated because they're being rowdy. They're causing a ruckus. I think Joseph like lifts one leg up and puts his foot up on like the counter to intimidate them or something. I forget.
But they know they're going to St. Moritz, Switzerland, the classic mountain getaway, ski resorts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they all load up in the old jalopy to take a big old road trip, traveling on roads mostly side by side with the rail tracks. I guess that's just where the mountain passes are. It's where you build roads. It's where you build railroads. Yeah. You're just working with the topology. They say their goodbyes and they're headed off, but then Joseph has to stop and go back because he was so grimly determined he forgot to neg Susie. And so he makes up for that real quick about her ugly pockmarked face from all the puncture wounds.
Yeah, you're hot, but heal those those ugly wounds before I get back, okay?
Be back soon.
And then Susie Q gets a little pissed, but then she's like giggling about it and she fucking tries to throw a rock at him, but she's so fucking weak that she just throws the rock like 3 feet ahead of her.
Yeah.
Doesn't even get close to the car.
It sort of establishes that in all of those days we skipped over in the previous episode's credits, like they have a very teasing based relationship.
Yeah.
I guess he picked it up from Loggins and Messina.
Yeah. Because like earlier she was saying that JoJo's got weird ugly lips and shit, like they're fucking with each other all the time. Also while they're driving off, Lisa says we might do some crimes during this, by the way. Just be prepared for doing some criminal acts.
So they travel along little map lines, but then we get to cut ahead to St. Moritz, where there is what I can only describe as an elderly puppy. This dog is drawn very young, but animated very old.
It's the saddest, most pathetic puppy that has ever been drawn.
I sure hope nothing bad happens to this puppy as drunk drivers come bombing down the street. Very classy European drunk drivers, as they pour wine glasses in the front seat.
So while this is happening, there's this dude in a trench coat who is who is Cars, walking along the sidewalk here by the puppy. And as the car is about to collide with the puppy, he has a big blade shoot out of the side of his forearm. He lifts up his arm, puts his arm back down, and now the drunk driver has had his hands severed from his arms. They're still gripping to the steering wheel. And
his friend asks, "What happened to your arms, man?"
No pain involved in this process. They're so fucking wasted. And he's just like, I can't move the steering wheel anymore. And so the car goes careening off to the side and explodes. And we don't see the explosion of the car. Rather, we see in a very close reaction shot of this puppy witnessing two men exploding and dying. And it's super funny. This dog just staring straight at this car exploding with just like terror on its face.
Cars kills Nazis, doesn't go in for the nonsense of the wedding ring of death.
Yeah.
And rescues puppies from drunk drivers.
Not so bad so far, right?
Cars is maybe the hero. He has weird like Las Plagas arm blades.
Yeah.
That is like villain coded, but it's all in how you use them, really.
Yeah, totally. This is maybe one of the only times you see a dog in JoJo and it doesn't get killed. It's like a weird, like, it's been a decent stretch since we saw the last, like, dog-based murder. And there's still more to come, but, like, this one always gets me, because every time I see that JoJo-styled, sad, elderly puppy, I think that dog's about to get an anvil dropped on its head or something. No, it lives. Thanks, Cars.
So back at the road trip, all of our Hamon hunks are loaded up, but they've stopped at a train crossing. They've caught up to the train, and it's being boarded by a bunch of Nazi soldiers doing an inspection.
Oh, damn it!
And one of them seems to recognize JoJo, which he is very confused about. He says, "quote, I don't know any German soldiers."
Alive, at least.
Yeah. Whenever I get to know a German soldier, they die within the hour. Caesar is freaking out as if all of his best friends aren't Nazis. Like, I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah. While this one German soldier is like talking like, hey, this guy, he knows JoJo from somewhere. He's got like a cane, and his hand kind of unsteadily reaches and grasps the cane. And while he's doing that, you hear mechanical servos whirring and clicking. But yeah, the Nazis are searching this train, and they find the package. They found the Super Asia.
Yeah, they did.
Now it's the Nazi Super Asia.
You can tell because it has Lisa Lisa's stamp on it.
Yeah, she has her own stamp. Isn't that lovely?
And she personalizes all her packages. She is a cool aunt.
Yeah.
She does stationery and shit.
But yeah, the Nazis explain that they've been like surveilling everything they've been doing on Air Supply Island, so they knew exactly where to find this stone.
They also read Susie Q's brain.
Yeah. And the Nazis going like, hey, why don't we work together? We're not strangers, JoJo. Like, at this point, it's super obvious, especially because the subtitles fucking spoil it, and so does the name of the episode. It's Stroheim. He's alive.
Yeah, I mean, seeing an episode called Von Stroheim's Revenge, I was trying to figure out what Stroheim's brain is doing on JoJo's shoulders and how it got there after so long of an absence.
God, imagine if that was an unrelated brain to the previous battle. That would be hilarious.
So, yeah, we've got Nazis interacting with vampires. It's a very old idea. I'm thinking that, Stroheim's like, hey, these guys are tough. We should be like them. We should be vampires too. I mean, Hellsing for a classic anime example. I mean, Blood Rain.
Yeah, totally.
The Buffy spinoff Angel had Nazi vampires. Like, everybody does it.
Yep. Yeah, Stroheim is saying we're very interested in this mask and the stone because we want to become, immortal as well or whatever. And then it just cuts to nighttime. So like everyone's just chilling in this big hut, just kind of out in the middle of nowhere here, in this snowy place. And Cars has found the hut as well. He's approaching the side, and just by placing his hands on the outside of this building is scanning the room and determining the exact height and gender of everyone inside and their position.
And he knows all of their height in centimeters.
Yes.
Which is a concept he was taught by Wamuu, clearly.
Yeah. And he pulls out one of his arm blades and does a single cut, like curved cut, on the exterior of this building, and all the Nazis inside are dead. One of them's had the top half of their head chopped off, and it landed on top of the head of another dead Nazi, which is pretty good.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
It's kind of a hat on a hat, but more of a head on a head.
Yeah. Cars just walks into the room and is like, yep, I got everybody. Or so he thinks.
So he thinks. There is someone who he could not detect with his radiating body heat. It is von Stroheim, standing tall and proud and unmasked as a cyborg.
Stroheim's a fucking cyborg now. He's got like a steampunk version of the Dragon Ball Z Power Reader on the side of his face.
Mm-hmm. Now, evil Nazi super science is an even older trope. I mean, that goes back to World War II itself.
Yeah.
Like when Captain Marvel Jr. fought Captain Nazi.
Right, yeah.
If you want a really specific parallel to this particular encounter, there is a Marvel Comics character called Geist, who is a Nazi scientist cyborg who faced off several times against Wolverine. So you have your arm blades.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, how much, or like you can tell, like, some of the things Araki's inspired by, but a lot of it isn't like pop culture stuff aside from music and fashion.
Right.
But I wonder how much he was inspired by like other comics or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cars charges at Stroheim with his arm blade. Stroheim blocks it with his new mechanical cyborg hand. The arm blade only cuts Stroheim's hat, so it pops off, and his hair is even more like the Guile hair that we all know and love. It's gotten taller. It poofs out to the sides even more. Stroheim's fucking cyborg man now, and that's where the episode ends off.
That's the end. The end. We are now a majority of the way through Battle Tendency.
Yeah.
The battle lines have been drawn, and they are tending toward a conclusion.
Yeah, we've only got 8 episodes left of this. I want to do a thing here. I want you to guess, because every battle is fucking crazy in JoJo and like weird.
Yeah.
What is Stroheim's new like combat ability going to be, do you think?
His new combat, the answer depends on what he was built for, right? Is he a generalist? Is he a specifically anti-Pillar Man weapon? Because, like, if that's the case, he could just be full of floodlights, right?
Yeah.
And the white lights all have little window wipers, so we don't get a repeat of the blood covering.
Yeah. God, that would be so funny if the show had even more, like, the Nazis coming back after getting owned, and they're adapting to how they got murdered the last time. Mm-hmm. Just more and more ridiculous things to combat against whatever the fuck the Pillar Men feel like doing that day.
A gun, like a big laser gun or whatever, seems too trite. He seems to be mostly clockwork and not like electricity, although there is electrical noises. Cyborg stuff, like super strength obviously is going to be in there, super durability. He stopped an arm blade. Yeah. But sonic weaponry? Like, yeah, thumping. Something that's thumping. I imagine there will be thumping.
If only Guile's sonic boom was also inspired by Stroheim, right?
Yeah, he's going to do a flash kick.
Okay, yeah. Now, if Stroheim's theme music is just Guile's theme, then I think there's a lawsuit on Araki's hands here. But yeah, what'd you think of these 3 episodes?
My notes were thin in a few parts because I was just watching the episodes too much.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign. That's good. I enjoyed the fights quite a bit. I enjoyed we are developing the Caesar-Joseph relationship in good ways. They're building mutual respect. Soon they will understand one another instead of being wrong about each other to a comical degree every time.
Yeah.
I'm liking that path. I like Lisa just has a sort of, she's got a vibe. She's got a good vibe.
Yeah, I like Lisa a lot, actually.
There's an air of confidence around her that really plays off of JoJo's wackiness. Yeah. Like, she's centered and confident and cool about things, while Caesar is puffing himself up and very self-conscious, and JoJo is a brat of a child that still somehow comes out with incredible ideas at the same time.
Yeah.
And so like that trio has real potential that I like.
Yeah. And like along with the confidence that like Lisa, like her character exudes, like I like that you haven't seen her fight at all and you already feel like she must be a really fucking powerful Hamon user or something.
Well, she just shamed JoJo with an oar out of nowhere.
That's true. She does kick an oar right into his fucking face. Yeah. But yeah, this stretch of episodes introduces a lot of characters, but Kenny or Loggins and Messina and Suzy Q and Lisa.
And exits for one of them.
Yeah. I both love and hate that JoJo is a series that is always introducing lots of uniquely designed characters, and they all look important, and only some of them are. And some of them are just there to die next episode, so there's a reason to fight something.
I think it's surprising and intriguing that Esidisi died in his first real fight.
Yeah.
And died halfway through the part. Like you expect, sort of a tournament arc and we save the big guys for the end, or, AC/DC gets away and he comes back later. And okay, that's sort of true, but he didn't get away for long.
No, yeah, died next episode.
So that is pretty engaging in a way. But one thing that I didn't appreciate about these episodes is how they are structurally. The episode should have ended with the road trip, and now we get all this stuff in Switzerland to set up the next bit that just feels superfluous and tacked on.
Yeah.
Like it's just an element of the bits that they can fit into an episode, not necessarily being beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of anime that's adapting manga struggle with that, because like
the same with the training montage at the end of the first episode we talked about today would have been better served by having more of it and more full scenes in the next episode. But then you might have to cut out a part of, the AC/DC fight, and that would be unsatisfying, even though it would make Loggins' death probably more impactful because Loggins would exist for more than the credit sequence of one episode.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a standard practice, but like so many manga have been adapted into anime that there's kind of a rule of like X amount of manga chapters equals one episode or whatever. And I think a lot of mangaka probably are trying to pace their manga in that way so that if it does get picked up for a show, it's going to be easier to adapt, and the beginning, middle, and ends will fit for a 22-minute episode or whatever. This was done in the 80s, so I don't know how standard that was back then. I don't think there were too many manga adapted into anime at that point, aside from Dragon Ball, and I think Z was happening by that point, and Fist of the North Star. I'm sure there were others, but those are the big ones I could think of from a similar time period.
I mean, speaking of the time period, it's also important to remember that I was really reminded when Lisa showed up, like nobody has thought about her music career in this century in which we live.
Yeah. There's a good amount of fun, like old references just because of how old the source material is.
And it just makes me think of the Pillar Men, because like, I don't think it would be strange in 1987 or 88 to put Cars, Wham, and AC/DC together. But in hindsight, how the walls of genre go up like taller and thicker as things move back in time. It feels really weird now.
Yeah, it's just kind of a wacky assortment of different musicians and bands.
Wham had just ended. Like this was being written at the dawn of like George Michael's solo career. This is when Faith is coming out, when these chapters are coming out.
Right. Oh my God. One of the fun things about JoJo is the further you get in, the more recent the parts become, and then you start getting slightly more recent like music references and characters' names and abilities and stuff. So it's really fun when finally, many parts later, you get something named Spice Girl. Or as
I can't wait for something named I threw glass at my friend's eyes and now I'm on probation.
or as Spice Girl is named in the English dub to avoid getting sued, Spicy Lady.
Ooh, Spicy Lady.
Spicy Lady.
That's how Joseph describes Lisa.
Yeah.
When he's looking through the keyhole.
Nice. God.
Spicy Lady.
Spicy Lady. I fucking love that scene of him going like, she said, not to barge in until she's done with her bath, but she didn't say anything about looking through the peephole, and she's saying, JoJo is saying it directly to the audience, like at the camera.
Mm-hmm. All right, Susie, I'm going to take a bath. I prefer not to be disturbed, but if anybody has died recently, like a powerful immortal enemy of ours, or one of our dearest friends, I would like to hear about that. Yeah, would be okay to interrupt me about.
That is kind of important, gotta say. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like the where some of these episodes start and stop and stuff isn't perfect. Like regardless of that, though, I feel like part 2, even though it technically isn't a full season, it's just like 2/3 of it. It feels like compared to part 1's like breakneck pacing, the pacing here is just a little bit slower, and it's kind of nice to have a couple scenes to actually breathe, even if it's just like breathe. Even if it's just like JoJo and Susie Q like negging each other.
Yeah.
Like we can stop for a few minutes. We can stop to see Speedwagon tell Granny Arena that JoJo's absolutely fine, and then have a hard cut to him getting shot with boiling blood.
He's not fine. He's not fine.
He is not fine at all. But yeah, that's episodes 16 through 18. Next time, the next 3 episodes, got some really good fights that I like coming up.
We're just going to hang out in a Swiss chalet and drink hot cocoa with marshmallows and pretend like we know how skis work.
Yeah. Oh, God. There is one aspect right at the end of this episode I forgot to mention that I think is really funny, and that is Kars kills all the Nazis before walking in. And then it's like, oh, there's still one guy. Stroheim is there. And while Stroheim is getting out of his chair and saying like, aha, Kars, I'm going to fuck you up, the door behind Stroheim opens and Joseph is just there. And he's like, hey, you guys got any food? you Nazis got anything to eat in here?
Oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, that guy.
Don't mind me. I'm just raiding the Nazi fridge for any leftovers. What do they got in here?
Mostly sauerkraut, I've been led to believe.
Oh, man. Could really go for some squid.
That's how you
spaghetti.
can identify them by smell. Yeah.
Yeah, all Nazi rations are just piping hot sauerkraut. You can smell it a mile away.
So that we don't really do closing business very often or very well on this show. So
that's what I made a note to do, but
I made a note to actually do that. We do really appreciate if you're enjoying the show, please say so, either in the form of like a Apple Podcast review or just like tell people on social media. Tell your friends. There's a new JoJo podcast and I'm really enjoying it. That helps us out a lot. Come talk to us. We're both on Twitter. We interact with people all the time. We have a Patreon, by the way.
Yeah.
That is supporting this show. Is supporting that lovely our channel image from Ix and our music from Thylacinus. Thank you very much to them for that, and all of you on our Patreon helping make that possible.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am extremely open to talk about JoJo on Twitter, especially because JoJo picked up in popularity a ton in the past couple of years, but it's gotten to the point where they're at the obnoxious fan base age.
No.
It's not like...
You brought me into another one of those.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was out.
So it's okay. It's different. It's just a lot of JoJo fans on the internet are just so enthusiastic about it that if they just see like AC/DC being talked about on Twitter for whatever reason, or anything that is even just a word that is you could barely relate to JoJo, they will hop in and go, and it's like a meme now as well. Is this a JoJo reference? And that's, how like Homestuckers would just inject Homestuck into whatever was being talked about. It's kind of like that. They're not gatekeepy or like combative. They're just they're always bringing it up, even when it's just like we're talking about fucking something entirely unrelated. But
I just like British dudes with guitars. Okay,
yeah,
is that a crime? Sometimes with synths.
I am happy to provide an outlet for JoJo that isn't that. And isn't just like, whoa, this is crazy. It's partly that, but also, you know, most people who consume JoJo, I find just like go with the flow and don't think about it, which is like, that is definitely a way to enjoy JoJo. Don't get me wrong.
Go with the flow, Joe could have been a title.
Oh, shit. Go with the flow, Joe. JoJo's Mojo. I don't know. But either way, thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week with another 3 episodes. That's going to start off with a cyborg Nazi.
Ooh, to be continued.